So it's the day after I shopped my stash and made a little December everyday makeup bag. And I'm gonna only use this makeup bag all of December. And it's the first day getting ready with it. So I thought I would film and get ready with you guys. And also kind of get my thoughts on some of these products, because most of them I haven't used in months and months. And they've just been sitting in my drawers. I don't really remember my thoughts on most of them, honestly. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. First off, I put the Kinship Self-Reflect SPF in here, and I was saying that like I haven't really applied an SPF underneath my makeup for a while, because a lot of my like tints and stuff that I use have an SPF in them, but I also know that those are not always the most like effective and protective, so it's always good to add another SPF underneath. So I told myself I would start putting my SPF on again every day. Definitely a little bit of like a white cast. Not bad, and obviously it's going to be under makeup, so it's like whatever. But nice and dewy. But I do feel like right when I put it on, it did like have a little like whitish, purpley-ish cast, but that's okay. Next I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. Like I said in my video on making my little makeup bag, this used to be like my favorite foundation, like ever. But I haven't used it in so long. So we're going to use my Rare Beauty foundation brush and put this on. I would do my little technique that I've been doing, which is putting like my bronzer and blush underneath my like tint or foundation, but if I remember right, this has pretty high coverage. So I'm afraid that anything I'd put underneath this wouldn't really show through. So I feel like that's kind of a waste. So I'm just gonna do foundation first. I can already see like why I liked this foundation so much. Look how pretty it is. Like so dewy, and it is that like higher coverage, like medium to full. So it definitely pretty much covers everything besides maybe some like redness around my nose. Makes your skin look super flawless. I do just wish that Estee Lauder had a little bit better of ingredients. I'm not like any kind of like expert on that at all, but I do like to do a little bit of research on it. I like to put like things in that Think Dirty app. I know it doesn't always tell the whole like story, but obviously it's like pretty alarming when it comes up with such a bad rating. But dang, that's a nice, beautiful foundation. Under the eyes, I'm gonna do the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. Another product I obviously haven't used in forever. That's why it's in this makeup bag. Just patting it out with the same brush. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it definitely brightened. It's a little bit like lighter, so I kind of feel like it just looks brighter because it's a lighter shade. I had the Estee Lauder one in 2-in-1 Desert Beige, by the way, and the Maybelline in 115 Warm Light. Yeah, I really like the finish of it, and I feel like it definitely brightened. And then I'm going to take the Ulta Beauty Youthful Glow Concealer in Fair Neutral. If I remember right, I had to get the really light one because there wasn't like my regular shade. So I think it's pretty light, but I'm just gonna put some around my nose and then just like brighten through my T-zone a little bit. And I have done like a full face of Ulta Beauty, which I was really surprised by because I feel like their stuff always looks so like either little kiddish or kind of cheapy, just like based on the packaging. But I was actually like so surprised at how much I did like most of the products. I don't feel like any of them were bad. Again, a really pretty finish, not tons and tons of coverage, but it definitely brightened a little bit through my T-zone, around my nose. Not bad at all, super creamy, easily like blendable. Let's do the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer in Butter Biscuit. I remember really loving this. This was like my go-to cream bronzer for a while there until I started using the NARS cream bronzer. And that kind of took over, I feel like. So I know this is a good product. Just using the same brush. Makes it easy. I think this one is definitely more neutral than my NARS one, like almost to the cool point. I feel like it just looks a little bit more like a contour shade versus my a little bit warmer NARS one. And it's also very, very light, which is really nice and really pretty. But I feel like the NARS one is definitely more pigmented. This one's a nice like little wash. Super easy to blend. It just looks like super natural. That foundation definitely feels heavier on the skin. I've been so used to like tints and tinted moisturizers and stuff, but like if I do feel it on my skin. Like it definitely feels like a heavier foundation, which it is, but it's crazy how much you can kind of like feel it on your skin. I forgot to put this brush in there. It's the Real Techniques light layer complexion, kind of like a stipple brush almost. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. Putty blush. This is in Turks and Caicos. Really bright blush, but it's not like too crazy. I know so many people love these putty blushes. I don't remember being too blown away or anything. Actually, that is really pretty. Use my finger. I think it just kind of feels like nothing. Like it is such a light formula. But it is really pretty and like natural on the skin. That color is really pretty. It makes me look more, makes me look like awake and like refreshed. Then I'm going to take the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HG powder, bright white, put it on a wet beauty blender, pat that in. Wow, look at that difference. Really like smoothed. Just going underneath my bronzer a little bit. It definitely mattified everything and smoothed everything. Like my skin looks really pretty, but I feel like it mattified a little bit too much for my liking. Like I like that glow that that foundation was giving, and now I feel pretty matte. I'm gonna set in the bronzer with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I was a little nervous about like the tone of this being very orangey, especially on my very like winter pale skin. So I did grab the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer as well, because it's a lot more like neutral. And I remember really liking this. But we're gonna try the Butter Bronzer. It smells so strong. Like so strong. I feel like I just had this weird memory. I think I had like a Barbie set when I was younger. Like a vacation Barbie set or something. And I just remember everything in the set, or like maybe just the Barbie smelled like the beach. I don't know, but this scent just unlocked a memory. Okay, not too bad. More warm. Like I definitely feel like it warmed everything up, and I feel like more orangey and warm, but not in a bad way. That Fenty bronzer is a little bit cooler than my NARS one, I feel like. So this one definitely brought in the warmth. I don't feel like it looks bad. Probably won't be able to really see this because it's such a light blush, but I do have the NARS Behave blush. I'm just gonna layer it over just to like set the blush in kind of, but I don't think you're really gonna be able to see much of this. Maybe a little bit. Like I'm definitely more so seeing the color of the putty blush. Last base product, I put the Nude Sticks Nudies All Over Face Highlight in Bubbly BB in my bag as well. I put that on the cheeks. Hopefully bring a little bit more glow. I kind of lost it. Had a little glow. It's a really pretty color. Like a warm champagne-y color. For eyebrows, I packed up the Brow Freeze from Anastasia. I feel like a lot of people say to do this first before your base. I totally forgot that I put it in here. So I'm gonna do it now. I just have a little spoolie and I just like bent it. I feel like it's easier to get in there like that. I'm gonna stick it in and then rub like the excess product on the lid. Trying to not get it on my skin really. I don't want to rub off any of my makeup. My eyebrows feel glued to my face. Definitely very high hold. Gets you that very spiked eyebrow look. I do feel like it made my brows look a little bit thicker than I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury, I think it's called the Brow Fix, and that gives you a really nice slicked up look. But this made them look a little bit more thick, like just made them look thicker versus like stringy, I guess. So yeah, super nice. Felt like I was like being lazy not using the Brow Fix, but that was pretty easy. So yeah, I like it. Now I'm going to take the Brow Wiz from Anastasia in chocolate, try to use this up. And it also made it super easy to see like where you're missing hairs and where you need to kind of like fill in using that. So I'm just going to fill in a couple of these sparse areas, but I do feel like it made my brows look really thick, even though like it's a clear gel. I really don't feel like I need much of this at all. Okay, I feel like my brows look really nice. More natural, but they look nice and like thick. Not too overdone. And now they're very much so like stuck in place. Like I don't feel like they're gonna move all day. So that was like a good little rediscovery. For eyeshadow palettes, I packed the Huda Beauty Chocolate Brown and the Glossier little trio in Jute. This one's super pretty, but I like know how these perform. And the Glossier ones, like I vaguely remember trying them, and I remember them being very, very light shadows. But I don't really remember like exactly what they looked like, so I think I'm gonna do this one just to use something that I am definitely more unfamiliar with. So there's really not many like options in here to do anything really different, so I'm just gonna take the matte shade, the deepest shade, and I just packed a blending brush and I'm gonna pop that in the crease. So light, but it does give you that just little bit of shadow, a little bit of interest on the eyes. And I like the tone of it. It's like a very cool taupe, almost like a purpley taupe color. I wish these two shimmer shades weren't like so similar to each other. This one is a little bit deeper and has smaller little sparkles in it. This one's definitely more sparkly and like bigger chunks almost. I feel like I could just like do without this one to have like one more deeper shade, or maybe something even lighter than this one for like the inner corner or something. I don't know, I just feel like the shade doesn't really like do much here. But I think I'm just gonna pop it on the lid just to kind of like see what it looks like. Yeah, I don't love that. Like, to me that looks like a cheap eyeshadow. The way that it's like these teensy shimmers that aren't really shimmery. You know what I mean? Like, you can see them in here, but all it looks like on the lid is just like little chunks of something. But it doesn't give you like a pretty shimmer, I feel like. I like the undertone of it and like the color of it, just not like the finish of it. Like, I do like what this looks like. It's very taupey, but it looks matte almost like on my lids, because that is just kind of like chunky. It's supposed to be shimmery, but it's not really shimmery. It's like weird chunky shimmers. I don't know, but I do like the color. And then I'm just gonna put the more shimmery one, the lighter one, over that. That one's definitely better, but again, it looks like it would be like so pretty, so shimmery on here, but it's just kind of like the shimmers go away on the lid. Let me try my finger. It's very like chunky glitter. Definitely looks better with my finger. It definitely got more payoff. Like, overall, I don't think this looks bad, but they're just like not great. I don't know. To me, it just looks like cheap shadow on the lid, honestly. But like, it swatches so pretty. I don't know. I just don't love it on the lid. But it doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look like, it'd be so pretty if they were like more shimmery, I guess, and like almost looked more glossy than like chunky glitter, I guess is what I'm thinking. I threw in 2 tattoo liners because one was definitely like drying out, so I was replacing it, but then they got mixed, so I'm not sure which one is the drier one. I don't know, I feel like I can't really tell on my hands either, because I don't think it was like fully dried out, but just getting drier. I should have never opened the second one, basically. We're just gonna use one of them and do a teensy wing. I've been liking doing a little wing and stopping at like, basically like my pupil, I guess, and not putting any here, but just like stopping kind of in the center of my lid. I just feel like it opens up the eyes a little bit more than like closing them all the way in. I don't know, I can't tell if this is like the dry one or not. Like, the tip is definitely not as pointed anymore. Like, it's pretty hard to get that nice like tip at the end of your wing. I'll have to keep using these and just see if one runs out totally or what. Curl the lashes first, and then I'm gonna do mascara. I packed the Milani Highly Rated and the Ulta Beauty Maximum Lashes. I think I'm gonna do the Ulta Beauty one. It's like spiky, spoolie wand, kind of makes me nervous around my eyes. But it does separate the lashes really well. Like, I already feel like this one looks so fluttery. It made them look so like lifted and fluttery. Like, they almost look like I have eyelash extensions, like that very fluttery look. I usually go for more of a thicker lash, a lot of volume. This one's on a really light coat, and like the spikes on the wand really separate the lashes. Probably be a little prettier without the eyeliner because you'd be able to see it a little better. It's a really light lash, so the fact that I have a dark, like a little bit thicker eyeliner on kind of hides them. But when you look to the side, you can like see the little flutter. I feel like it's not the easiest to apply because it's such a light layer that you're kind of feeling like you're not getting anything on the lashes, but the outcome, if you just take it a little slower, are a really nice light, like fluttery lash. So not bad, not usually like my preference, but then I threw in the Anastasia lip liner in Deep Taupe. My Rare Beauty one that I've really been loving is in my purse, so I'm planning to kind of like have that with me as well. It's something I can use too. This one's a very pretty fall and winter shade. I did pack like a bright red lip, but obviously that's not really like the vibe today. Like I don't want to be that fancy, so this lipstick is NARS in Dolce Vita. It's the sheer formula. Actually goes with the liner really well. It's a pretty color. Feels really like smooth and comfortable. It does have a little bit of a shine, but I did also pack the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Stone. I'm just gonna top everything off with that. This one's a little bit more like warm. This one's more of like a brownie undertone, and that lipstick was, I feel like, more of like a pinky undertone, so it kind of warmed it up even more. I almost forgot, but I did pack my Fix Plus. I just like hate the abrupt, like I don't like facial sprays really, period, just because I don't like being like hit in the face. That one was bad. So that is the look that I got with some of the products that I packed up in my everyday December bag. I think it turned out really pretty. Like nothing's like bad at all. Feels a little different than what I currently have been like doing. I feel like I've gotten really set in my ways of how I like my skin to look and how I've been doing my makeup, so it just feels a little bit different. But I think with like what we had, turned out good. That was fun, a little challenge to use up the things that I've had in my makeup collection that have just been sitting there and not being used at all. So it's nice to like try them again, kind of rediscover some things and get kind of another opinion on them. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely give it a like if you did and subscribe to my channel. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for another new video. Bye!